I absolutely love a good cheesesteak. And the other day I really wanted one, but I didn't have any beef thawed, but I had some chicken. So I said, hey Jeff, let's make a chicken cheesesteak. I had never had one before, whipped it up, put a little twist on it. It's delicious, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do it. Welcome to the Salted Pepper, where we cook for real life using real food and we keep it real simple. And today we're gonna make a very easy sandwich, a chicken cheesesteak. Now, there's nothing special about this except for one ingredient that just took an ordinary chicken cheesesteak to extraordinary, and it is absolutely delicious. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is slice up the chicken. Now, to make this easier, I put it in the freezer for about an hour. So it was thawed completely, but then I popped it in the freezer on parchment so that it could partially freeze. You don't want it totally frozen, but when you freeze it partially, it's so much easier to cut thin strips. And for this recipe, you want to get as thin sliced chicken as you can. So I'm going to take my chef's knife, and I can see that there's some a grain, which I don't usually pay attention to, honestly, when I'm cutting chicken, but I can see it going across here. So I'm going to start on this side here, and I'm just going to take my knife and shave off, okay, super, super thin pieces. And it makes it so easy when it's partially frozen. And it doesn't matter if they come off in like little chips either. So don't worry about that. It's gonna be absolutely perfect in this recipe. The thing you don't want is really thick strips of chicken, because then it's just gonna be a little bit harder to eat. So when you go to bite into your sandwich, you're gonna get this big piece of chicken and you're not gonna be able to bite into it as easily. So definitely take that time, put it in the freezer for about an hour, and you'll be able to do this with ease. All right, there we go. All of the chicken is sliced up. It's nice and thin. This is 1 13-ounce chicken breast. It will make 2 sandwiches. I'm only gonna make 1 though today. So I'm gonna cut this in half. We're gonna make up 1 because there's only 2 of us here and we split a sandwich. So I'm gonna do that, clean up real quick. I'm gonna get my pan heated up, and then we're gonna get to making the chicken cheesesteak, and I'm gonna tell you what the secret ingredient is. All right, Jeff pointed out that I didn't get my bun ready before starting to heat the pan up. So I wanted to stop real quick, get back on, talk about the bun, the sandwich roll that you want to use, because that's almost as important as how you cook everything. I mean, it is so important. What you want to do is get some sort of a hoagie roll that is soft but substantial, okay? So if you try to do this with a hot dog roll, they're so soft they just fall apart. So you need to get some sort of a sub roll, and this one is just perfect. It's the perfect size, and it works great. So we love using these. Now, I recommend getting your bun your roll all ready to go, because the cooking part of this goes really fast. And then after we cook it, get our sandwich assembled, I'm gonna throw it into the grill to air crisp so we can melt the cheese on top. And the cheese I'm using is provolone, by the way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut through this, and I only cut about 3/4 of the way through the sandwich roll. And another trick is, if you have a really big roll and it's very bready and you don't want that much bread, scoop out some of the inside, okay? These are okay. They're not too bready. I'm just gonna kind of carefully open it up. But you see this, like right here, I can just pull that right out, and that gives a place for the meat to go and makes it a little bit easier to eat and a little less bready, and I like doing that. These aren't too bad though. Some of them are pretty bad. And then of course you can toast these up for croutons or feed them to the birds, whatever you want. All right, so that looks perfect. We've got our shell for our sandwich meat. And I've got the provolone here. I'll put that on after I put the hot topping. And I like to put mayonnaise on mine. And sometimes I put it on after I grill it, and sometimes I put it on now. I'm gonna go ahead and just put it on right now. So I'm gonna put about a tablespoon and spread it between the 2 sides. And it's fine, even when it's heated up, it's good. All right, there we go. So we're done with that. Now, for the type of pan you need, you can use stainless steel, you can use any nonstick pan. So that's not gonna really matter too much. You'll get a little bit more browning on a stainless, and this one will brown as well a little bit. So I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of olive oil in, probably about 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon. All right, so once the oil has heated up, and I'm already seeing a little bit of smoke, so I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. We're gonna get the onions in. What I have is a half of a Vidalia onion that is just sliced in about, a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch slice. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump those right in. And I'm gonna put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, not much at all. So maybe like 1/8 of a teaspoon of the pepper. And about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And we're gonna kind of spread these out a little bit, get them in that oil, and let them brown up. Now you can do this any way you like. So if you don't want your onions brown, you don't have to do it this way, of course. All right, they're already starting to brown. That's pretty quick. So the peppers that I use, the bell peppers that I use, are the little round ones. So they're like in a bag and they're assorted colors. I don't even have a green one. You could use green if you wanted. You could use a red bell pepper, regular one, and cut it into strips. Whatever you want to do, it's perfectly fine. And I have 4 of the little mini peppers, which would be equivalent to about 1 bell pepper. All right, now real quick, I'm going to turn these around, saute them a little bit so that they don't burn. I'm getting some nice browning. I love that. Now, I am a fan of seasoning every layer, so I'm going to add a little bit more. That's totally up to you, but I like to season everything as I go. And again, tiny, tiny amounts here. All right. Same thing with the chicken, but I'm going to season it before I put it in the pan, so I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. You probably want to be between a medium high, depending on your stove. And if it's just seeming like it's cooking a little too hot and they're getting a little too charred, turn your heat down some. All right, that looks great though. For the chicken, I'm gonna salt and pepper with 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper. And I'm just gonna spread that around on them a little bit here, just to get that, just get a little bit of seasoning on the chicken. All right, so toss these around, get that combined in there. And remember, I'm only doing half, so I'm going to take half out. That looks good. All right. Now we're going to put in our meat. You can dump it all in. And then we want to definitely move it around in the pan, okay? This is important because you want to get each little piece cooked, and it goes so fast. But if they're stuck together, they don't cook as evenly. There we go. All right, so while that's cooking, now I'm gonna add in the secret ingredients, which are these mild banana pepper rings with juice, okay? It takes this cheesesteak to a whole new level. I'm telling you, it's so delicious. So what I do is put in about 2 tablespoons of the peppers. You could use as many or as little as you like. And then 2 tablespoons of the juice. Woo, so good. And then now you're not gonna get any more browning. Now we're kind of steaming a little bit, but it's gonna finish cooking the chicken. It's gonna get that flavor of the banana pepper juices into the chicken meat. Oh my gosh, so amazing. And you know what? This looks enough for 2 sandwiches. You know why? Because I forgot to separate out the peppers and the onions. So I put in double what you need for 1 recipe. So that's okay. That'll work. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go ahead and just cook all of it up. That way it'll be a better proportion. And I'll just save the other half for another day. Oh, it looks so good. I mean, honestly, if you wanted to skip the onions and make this and put it over, just eat it as it is. It's delicious if you weren't doing any bread products. It's so good. It really is delicious. All right, so now I'm gonna finish sauteing this chicken, then we're gonna get it onto our roll and we're gonna get it into the grill to air crisp. So now is the time I wanna start to preheat. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the grill on and I'm gonna preheat on air crisp and we're gonna go all the way up to 400 and hit start. We're gonna let it preheat. By the time it's preheated, this will be done. We'll assemble our sandwich, get it crisped up, and then I will taste it. All right, so our grill has preheated and we are done with the mixture. This literally took less than 5 minutes completely. And it looks like it's a lot. This chicken made a lot, this chicken breast. So, all right, we're gonna put this right into our roll here. Oh, it looks so delicious. All right, that looks really good. Now we're gonna go ahead and top it with our provolone. I'm using a smoked provolone, but you could use any type of provolone. You could use mozzarella. You could use any kind of cheese you want. No problems whatsoever. All right, so I've got the basket in, and I am going to lift this up carefully and put it right in. And we are just gonna go as long as it takes to really melt and brown that cheese and crisp that roll up some, and then I will cut it and take a bite. All right, so it's been 4 minutes, so let's take a peek and see how it's doing. Ooh, it's done. Yay, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. All right, we got it out, perfect. Oh my gosh, look at that browning on that bun. 4 minutes. Oh, I love that grill. And then we've got the nice melted cheese. Oh my gosh, this looks so good. All right, so now I'm just gonna try to fold it over here so we can cut our sandwich. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. I like to use a serrated knife. I think it works the best. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, it's gorgeous. Little runaway piece of chicken. Mmm. Oh my gosh. So good. And I love that it's holding together. You can see some of the juices coming out on the plate. That's part of the banana pepper juice. And oh, it's gonna be so good. All right, here we go. Mmm. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Do you see how easy it was for me to bite through? It's because that chicken's so nice and thin. This is so delicious, so easy to make. I hope you give it a try and I hope you love it.